My Council Services is a multi-module transformation platform that's being used broadly by UK local authorities to enable transformation that's delivering cost savings in terms of cashable savings, financial benefits and resource savings. Customer self-service, in essence, is giving the customer, the resident in this case, of their local authority, access to the range of services that that local authority provides, both mandated and value-added, and the ability to access those services through their channel of choice, be that their smartphone, be that a responsive web form, be that a customer contact centre, so by telephone, or be that via social media. It's really allowing the customer to choose the way that they want to interact with their local public service provider. If you take the natural extension from customer self-service, whereby a customer can initiate contact through their channel of choice in a self-service mechanism, that customer contact creates a set of data about that service request, be that reporting a fly tip, be it paying your council tax, be it requesting assistance with something, be it applying or paying for something. That data typically then has to be responded to in some way by the local authority. So where the mobile worker piece fits in is making sure that that packet of data and the associated actions, tasks and activities that respond to that service request arrive on the device of choice for the person that's best qualified to deal with that, without it having to be retyped or touched in any way by human interaction. And you can configure that as appropriate. So for very straightforward things, you may have a fully automated process. For processes that are perhaps more complicated or more sensitive, you can allow the exercise of professional judgment and discretion by the call service agent or the service specialist. The CRM piece is really kind of the middle layer. So it's the ability to have a holistic view of what your customer's doing with their local authority. So you can see all of their transactions and interactions, all of their history, and allowing the call centre entity, the customer service layer, to manage those processes. As I said earlier, either in a fully automated way, a semi-automated way, or in a very heavily mediated way. But it's that ability to engage with and support your customer through the life cycle of the service request or the transaction they want to carry out with you. It's a really interesting question. Social media is one of those things that's been heralded as a really empowering technology, and we absolutely believe that it is. But it's also one of those things that customers can choose to use as an interaction channel through and to their public service provision organisation, so their UK local authority effectively. And what it is and why it's different from some of the more traditional contact channels is it's completely unmediated. So the local authority doesn't have governance over Twitter or Facebook or Google Plus or YouTube. It's down to us as individual consumers and customers and residents of our local authority to use that in the way that we want to. So it's important in that regard because it's an empowering technology for customers to contact their service providers, but it also represents potentially a significant risk because it's an interactive channel and you need governance wrapped around that to make sure that content that's being shared back to customers is appropriate and relevant, that people are using it in a professional and effective way that's in keeping with the tone of voice of your local authority. So there's a real kind of exciting capability around the ability to interact with customers through social media, and you want to allow that to happen. You can't shut those channels down, but you also need to wrap some governance and some risk management around that. And there's technologies now that we're providing that allow UK local authorities to do that in a very effective way. Case management is an interesting concept, and the simplest way that I can think of to describe it is we were talking a moment ago about this concept of a service request where a customer may raise an issue with their UK local authority and that issue needs to be dealt with. It's not uncommon in that public service context for potentially multiple service requests to get linked together, and it might be that you've got an issue around a noise nuisance or persistent fly tipping in a location that then starts to turn into something that's multifaceted and slightly more complicated. And in those contexts where the one-dimensional service request starts to become part of a larger group of issues and activities, you need a set of tools to manage that as a multifaceted issue challenge. There are a number of things I think that mark My Council Services out as different in the contemporary technology landscape. First off, I think one of the key differentiators is configurability. So the ability for a UK local authority to take ownership of the platform and to allow process professionals, as opposed to technology professionals, to configure those processes that reside and are run through My Council Service in a way that reflects the expectations and requirements of your customers. So configuration certainly is one. Next, I would cite speed of implementation. So the ability to get the platform set up and running and working for customers and for the council in very short periods of time. You can measure those implementation, what we call onboarding projects, in a number of weeks, not a number of months. So it's quite different from a traditional IT implementation project that may send a shiver down the spine of your head of ICT.